Well, it comes down to this. Is MDOT to blame? In a complaint filed in court today, the state agency is accused of being negligent. Fox 2 has learned road construction crews experienced a problem when they poured a section of southbound I-75. Instead of fixing the issue, the Transportation Department opened the roadway anyway, ultimately leading to the death of 2 young men. We want to warn you, the 911 call is tough to hear.
They said that I needed to sit down, and then they said, there's no other way to tell you this, ma'am, but your son's been killed in an accident.
June 25th, 2021, the fateful day Susan and Jim Ponsner's world shattered. They adore their oldest son, Tim, who has always been known for his compassion, enthusiasm, and dedication to all things sports.
He was the Wikipedia of just about everything, sports. That was his passion.
Tim recently found a new job working for a Royal Oak marketing firm. He was on his way to a client meeting when the 27-year-old lost control of his car on southbound I-75 near Adams and Troy, and then became pinned against the center cement barrier.
911, what's the emergency?
Hi, I just rolled over my vehicle on 75. Basically I'm out of the lane. I'm on the left side.
Are you okay?
I am okay. The vehicle does appear to be leaking gasoline. I can see it out my windshield. I can't really get out of the vehicle.
What's your name?
My name's Jim Johnson.
Is your car on its roof, on its side?
It is on the driver's side. I'm okay.
Are you still inside of the car?
Yes, I am. I can't really get out, to be honest.
According to the Troy crash report, Tim was alive, not even hurt, just trapped. Without hesitation, 25-year-old Alec Esparza stopped to help someone in need, an act he was known for. Alec recently became a living kidney donor and was on his way to D.C. following his passion for politics and protecting the environment.
Total strangers to come out of nowhere to try and help someone that they saw in need, and then to have what happened to them too.
Are you able to pull yourself up and out?
Yeah, I think I can here. Hey, how's it going? Somebody say, can you hold that open? That'd be great.
Just as Alec and another man who also stopped to help was about to free Tim through his passenger door, the crash report shows a driver of a full-size van lost control and slammed into all 3 men.
Hello?
Killing Tim and Alec. The older man who survived was able to jump out of the way in time.
When he left that morning, I told him I love you and please stay safe in all this rain.
According to the initial crash report, the road surface was wet because of the heavy rain, and as Fox 2 has now learned, may have played a role in the deadly double crash. The final case report revealed both vehicles that lost control were driving below the 70-mile-per-hour speed limit, although road conditions were wet. One witness even told investigators the van looked like it was sliding on ice. Remember, it's June, not January.
Water should not have been on the road. Water shouldn't be on the road ever.
Ponce Esparza is someone you can consider an expert on the subject. For the last 45 years, he's worked for the Michigan Department of Transportation. Decades of handling traffic and safety for MDOT. Most recently, the Transportation Maintenance Coordinator in the Bay region. He also happens to be Alec's father.
You know, you're trying to deal with what's going on. And then all of a sudden that just comes up, and then again, your heart goes in your stomach.
I mean, you try to think all along that it was just an honest accident and couldn't have been avoided. But then when you hear something like that, you start thinking, okay, maybe it probably could have been avoided.
From Troy police officers who responded to the tow truck drivers who hauled away their son's car, Ponce and Tracy Esparza of Saginaw Township say they were told there have been several accidents in the same stretch of I-75 where their son was killed.
He had notified MDOT that there were problems with that roadway there, that he had issues in the past. As a matter of fact, there was an accident later that day at the same location.
In fact, in the revised case report, the investigator claims in early July, he reported the crash area to MDOT and requested they look into any errors or issues with the concrete that may have contributed to specifically the loss of control of the two vehicles in this crash, but also several other crashes they have noticed since the concrete was newly poured. Fox 2 obtained the traffic crash reports from 2021 specifically for the section of southbound 75 south of Adams near Coolidge. Out of a total of 16 car accidents on that same stretch of roadway, 8 involved wet roads causing cars to lose control. A pattern that started after the Michigan Department of Transportation completed that phase of the 75 Modernization Project, which Ven Johnson, the attorney now representing both families, says has a major defect. The claim, after it was poured, the concrete on that section of roadway did not cure or settle properly.
If it settles, it sinks into the pavement. Through the weight of the concrete, it could settle. I mean, it could be muck down there. It could be a bad foundation.
And that's where water pools and
then it goes down, and of course, you got a dip in the roadway, and that's where water will stay.
And this year, Metro Detroit has had a lot of rain. According to our meteorologist, so far in 2021, it's rained around 100 days. The amount of precipitation with rain and melted snow combined, 15% above average. As MDOT's maintenance coordinator, Ponce will tell you when vehicles hit the lower level of wet roadways, vehicles can hydroplane and lose control. According to the crash reports, that may have happened to Tim Potzner and the driver of the van that lost control and killed his son. Ponce says it was a tough day when his MDOT co-workers told him there was a defect in the road, and made tougher when they told him the state agency he dedicated his life to for more than 4 decades knew about it and didn't fix it.
They had one way to go: fix it, cure it, or we'll let it sit the way it is, knowing full well that there is a dip in the road, which in addition to being bad for 75, 80 mile an hour cars going down the road, right? Put water.
Ven Johnson is going after the state and MDOT, who he claims knew about the problem, had a responsibility to fix, and still open the unsafe road for drivers. But suing the government for a road defect may be a challenge.
Our government is making it more difficult and more difficult for us to hold them accountable for them not doing the job that they're required to do and our tax dollars go to pay.
Because of something called sovereign immunity, in most cases, government agencies cannot be named in a lawsuit unless it can be proven it's a road defect, not a design issue. And that the government agencies did not maintain the roads in reasonable repair, had notice of the defect, and did not repair it in a reasonable amount of time.
The thing is, I mean, Alec was trying to do the right thing. And I feel like if the people responsible for that roadway had done the right thing, we wouldn't be sitting here.
I don't want to see this happen to anybody. I really don't. It's just, unless you ever lost a child, you have no idea.
But the Esparza and Potzner families have no choice. Their lives changed forever after both beloved young men with bright futures were taken away in an instant.
I truly hope that they find out why, because there's no reason. He went to work that day and he didn't come home.
The complaint filed with the court today claims a subcontractor out of Shelby Township hired by MDOT for the modernization project alerted road technicians about cement not settling properly, creating a birdbath effect, and what needed to be done to fix it. But to date, nothing has been done. After several attempts for an interview with an MDOT official, I received this statement from the Deputy Communications Director, which reads, evidently, Troy police have concluded their crash investigation and submitted their findings to the prosecutor. There is no indication that the road was the cause of the crashes, but officials at the department will be closely analyzing the findings. Safety is paramount at MDOT and informs everything the department does, end quote. And meantime, the Oakland County prosecutor will still have to determine if charges should be filed against the surviving driver. She has that case right now.
Tearing your heart goes out to those grieving families tonight. But this seems more than just a coincidence. What does the Troy Police Department have to say about all of those crashes happening in the same place?
Well, we mentioned a little bit in the piece. I mean, they were aware. Troy PD says officers noticed a pattern as well right after that section of the modernization project was completed. They informed MDOT and even asked the state for its stats on crashes in that area, but are still waiting for those numbers, and so are we.
And Taryn, just to be clear, that stretch of roadway is still open and no changes have been made to it?
Nope, not at all, and that's what the families fear. They're really coming out and speaking to us because they want to prevent this from happening to anyone else. Those two young men who lost their lives had so much promise, and it's so sad that they were taken away in an instant.
We know you'll continue to follow the case as it works its way through. Thanks, Taryn.